afternoon everyone, I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me in my studio today. It's Wednesday, so halfway through the week. I hope you're having a great week whatever you're doing. The weather's not the best, is it? I hate the weather like this. If you're new to our channel and you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and if you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment and let me know your thoughts on today's studio and if you've enjoyed it or is it something you do all the time. We are all here to inspire each other, and don't forget to share it as well, so more people that see it, more crafty friends we get to join our fabulous studios every Monday and every Wednesday. So in today's studio I'm going to be using some of our earlier products, but I'm going to show you how to shake it up a little bit and maybe make concept cards with some of our stamps and dies. So before I get into my first demonstration and get ready for it, here's a little inspiration. So before I get into the first demonstration, I just want to say thank you to everybody who purchased the goodie bag and sale items from our fabulous sale. It is quite a unique sale in the sense that it only happens twice a year and you do have to be a club member. And we've had lots and lots of people purchase products, which I'm so pleased as well, because I know that you as crafters at home will really appreciate the discount, but will appreciate the product and make some beautiful things with them. So well done. The sale does end tonight at midnight though, so if you haven't had the opportunity to pop on, there are a few goodie bags left and there are some other items left in the sale, but once that's done, we don't do a sale at Christmas, we don't do a January sale and things like that, so pop on and have a look, see if there's anything there for you. The second thing I need to say is, because there's been so many orders and we've only got 2 members of staff, me being one of them, we are getting through them as quick as we can, so I'm just asking you just to be a little bit more patient than probably normal, because we've had hundreds and hundreds of orders and it's physically difficult to find all the products. We're spinning so many plates, as you know. So we'll get them out to you as soon as we can. They are definitely on their way, so don't worry about it. So that's all I've got to tell you about. In today's studio I'm going to be using this fabulous stamp, the red rose and the die, and I'm going to be making a couple of concept cards. So something a little bit different, so we can chop it up a little bit. So a lot of you've probably got this one already, and I think one of these was actually in the sale as well, so if you did get it, well done. So all I'm going to do first is, I'm just going to take it easy today. It's been a bit of a manic day, to be honest with you, so we're just going to go with the flow today, and hopefully you'll be able to get some inspiration from the studio and take it away with you and do your spin or your take on it, which you know I always love to see. So I'm just going to stamp this one out. I have got some work done ahead of time, so so I'm not going to bore you all to death with my colouring, but I will do a little bit of colouring just simply because we do have new viewers every single time. So I've just stamped that out, and I've used the VersaFine waterproof ink, and this is going to enable me to watercolour without the black lines bleeding. Okay, so I'm just going to, for speed, is this one today. These are the lovely travel watercolours that we had on TV not so long ago. And as you can see, mine is well loved. So I'm just going to, let's just colour this big one quickly now. I like white spaces, I like a mix of colours, I quite like my flowers to be vibrant as well. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. But if you're quite a simplistic person and just like your lighter colours, then you can do that also. These look beautiful in no line watercolouring. And what that basically means is stamping in a very, very light ink pad and then colouring, and then the lines practically disappear to nothing. So it looks like there's no lines, it looks absolutely stunning. I have done that a few times in studio actually, so go back and check some of the videos out. So I've just done a pink petal there, and I've just dropped some orange in. Now, today, you know how I say if you're going to be watercolouring, make sure you use the correct card and watercolour card and things like that. Well, you see today I'm colouring on normal cardstock. So I'm just going to go for it and hope I get a realistic finish. I can't promise, but if you haven't got the watercolour card, you know yourself, as long as you don't over wet and start to pill the paper, you can get away with it. So if you've got only card at home, you can still try this technique. So just going to drop some orange in there. Let it work its magic. Bit of pink again, so let's go for this one here. And if you have got the courage, leave some white spaces too, because it just makes it look more realistic. I'm not going to paint all of this, but I am going to do a few. So a layer of pink all over, and then a little bit of orange on top. So where it would naturally be darker with the shadow, that's where I've popped my other colour. Can you see that there? So whilst I'm just painting here, I'd like to say a couple of thank yous really. I want to say thank you to my fabulous design team. It's not very often, I do say thank you all the time, but it's not very often I do get to say a personal thank you. So I'm using this opportunity now to say thank you to all the girls who've worked really, really hard over the last few months to get finished samples for myself, for Marla, and for Pretty Penny. So that's Carly and Dawn included. You know, these samples don't happen themselves. People need time. They need patience and, you know, money as well to do these things. So I am just saying right here and right now, I thank you and I do appreciate you all. And then secondly, I just wanted to let you all know that the closing date for the voting for the awards, I think it is November the 14th. So if you haven't yet voted for your favourites, I do encourage you to go and do it. Just even if it's not for me, and it means a lot to all these crafting companies simply because it's recognition for people's hard work. The industry is tough, it's very difficult, and particularly when you family run businesses as well, and there is a lot of them out there. You know, the recognition is fabulous. And as you all know, I'm up for 5 awards, and fingers crossed I just win one, to be honest with you, because that is amazing. But if you haven't yet voted, all you need to do is pop onto Crafts Beautiful and pop your voting on there. Linda Chapman's on there, Dawn Wheeler's on there for a dye range, Dawn Wheeler's Craft Woman of the Year. So go and have a nosy. So I'm going to leave that be. And it will just dry. It'll obviously dry back lighter. Watercolours always dry back lighter. So do have the courage to go on with a darkish colour if you can, because it'll always dry back lighter. So just as we do in Blue Peter, I'm just going to bring this one across. So this is one I have already done. So I'm just going to quickly pop some green on these leaves. Just drop some green in, nothing special, and I am going to leave white spaces on the leaves. So the brush I'm using here is my Eureka brush. So if you've got the Eureka, you will have this brush. And this is a size 4 brush, and it's a nylon hair. They're inexpensive, guys. Don't go out and spend lots of money. I say this, I don't own fancy brushes. I have a mix of brushes and I have lots of brushes, but none of them cost me the earth, and they all work fabulously. So pop down to your local craft store. We've done some brushes as well if people have purchased those, but pop down to your local craft store and have a look what they've got. I would probably say as long as they've got a soft end and a probably nylon, you are good to go. So let's just fill in these. I'm just going to randomly go in quickly all over because it's getting boring. And you've all probably seen me paint 1,000 times before. We do have some in-depth videos showing you how to get light and shade and things like that. So go back and look at some of our videos over the last, I would say, couple of months. So just drop a little bit of green on those ends, buds. And then you're going to see where this is going to take, because I've already done a few ahead of time to show you the concept side of things on the card. Oh, there's one little one there, cheeky one. There we go. So I'm just going to set this aside. And I'm just going to quickly dry this one off. I'm not going to dry it off fully, that, mind you, it is dry, it's one I've done before time. But whilst I have my paint palette out, I'm just going to pop some splashes on there because I can see from the one I did earlier I have done that. So I'm going to have to do it with this one because it needs to match. So I've just dipped my paintbrush in the water, picked up some of the orange, put some splats on there. Going to get some of this lovely yellow. Let's get some yellow on there too. So the splashes are fabulous, look really arty. But if you've got like a picture that you don't really like, you've not coloured it the best, splashes always hide a lot of sins. So give it a go. So I think we're good to go on that one. So let's just set this one aside. And let's die cut this one out. So if you bought the rose, you will get the die in the same collection. You know, I don't mind fussy cutting, but I would not want to fussy cut this one. I have to be honest with you. I'm not a fussy cutter. A lot of people are. Unfortunately, I'm not. So I better hold that down in 2 places because it's probably going to move. So I'll just run this one through and very quickly, and then you'll be able to see where this one's going. Look at the state of my mat, I'm so sorry. This is actually from demonstration on Monday. I've not had an opportunity to clean it. And then when you pop it out, you get this beautiful embellishment. It is a big one, 5-inch I think it is when we did it. So I'll just set that one aside. Let's move this out of the way. So I'm going to come back to that coloured rose we've just done, because that's for a different card. What I'm going to bring in is this one. Now I'm not sure if you can see that there. So the idea was, I thought, right, today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and I'm going to do something completely different. So what I decided to do was, I decided to get my gouache out. But as I was painting, because I'm not familiar with it, I am still learning. And I love to paint on wood with my gouache. What I was doing was I was painting it like it was watercolour, and I was going down the completely wrong path. I thought, well, what is the point in colouring in gouache if I'm going to use it exactly the same as watercolours? I want to do something different. I want to learn something new. So I continued on with it because I felt like I've started it, I might as well finish it now. So the texture is different. When you feel it, it's a lot thicker, and I can't really explain it. All I will say to you is I was diluting it down like water to try and get the coverage, and obviously that's not what you do with gouache. Gouache is layering, so I need to get my head around how it works properly, and then when I've got the confidence and the courage that I'm going to do something well, I will show you how to do it, okay? But at the moment I'm still learning. So basically this one is gouache, and I decided to do it in like an aqua and a cream. It just looks like a watercoloured image, doesn't it, actually? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in my score tool here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm just going to score it down one of the sides. Now let's go with 1 inch. Let me just make sure that I'm not going to get... Let's just go less than 1 inch so we miss that hinge. So I'm just going to go under 1 inch. So it scored it to there, scored it there, and scored it there. So let's just get a firm score line in there with my scoreboard. And then when you turn it over, you have this beautiful score line here, look. So we have like a door. This is just an alternative way to use your stamps and dies. So if you haven't got this stamp and die, don't worry about it. You might have a chunkier stamp and die in your stash, but I'll just do, you'll get the same effect with it. So I'm just going to pop this to one side. And then I'm just going to get my card blank. So I have this piece of white card here, and this is going to sit in here, but first of all I want to get a lovely sentiment on there. So within the same collection then we have the lovely sentiment across the bottom, which says, if flowers can teach themselves to bloom after winter, then so can you. And I think that's a beautiful sentiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this on the bottom right corner of this piece of white here. Just move this out of the way for a second. Make sure it's as straight as possible. Just move this one for now. And then you have this lovely sentiment across the bottom. I'm just going to do it one more time to make it stand out. There we go. So I'm just going to set this one aside. Didn't take long for me to get a fingerprint, did it? Look at that. It's a good job I've got an eraser. So here I have a top folding note card. But I'm going to use it as a traditional card size. I have a piece of black, and as you can see it fits seamlessly on there. Now I was going to hinge this on here, and it would stand proud from our work. Now you can put the hinge across the back if you want to, so you've got that flap, or you can pop the hinge over the white if you want to. It's entirely up to you. You can still see the beautiful sentiment behind when you give it a true score. So let's just see which looks the best. So let's pop it on the white. Yes, let's go with the white. That was my intention originally, so let's stick with it. So I'm just going to fold these elements out. Just going to pop some wet glue on these little hinges, and these hinges here, look. Now if you have a tape pen, that will help. I just don't have one to hand. That will help grab quicker. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my card piece here. I'm just going to pop my card piece up to that score line. like so. Give it a chance to grab, not too close because I want it to make sure it folds over. Give that a good old push down. Just give it the opportunity to grab. Let me find, there we go. There we go. So just pop that around, then hopefully our score line will come round. We have this like beautiful like aperture on here. So give it a chance to dry. I'm obviously going speed crafting. I've got another demo, but you take your time with it. Now you could pad this, pop it on some 3D foam pads if you want to. I don't think there is a right or wrong way, and I'm sure whatever you make at home it will be beautiful. So just stick that on there flat. Make sure it's straight. I'm just giving it an opportunity to grab, because my artwork always slides. There we go. And then this one, and I'll stick onto our folding note card, so we have like two doors in a sense. So let's just make sure it all grabs, and then I'll just trim this little element off at the bottom so it can stand proud. And you could pop some embellishments around if you wanted to, but how lovely is that? So you've got the sentiment on the front with the beautiful opening there, and then you could pop a lovely sentiment inside as well. So something a little bit different if you wanted to, but I think it's a beautiful card, and I would be proud as punch if that was stood on my mantelpiece. So that's demonstration number 1, and demonstration number 2 is going to be using the same stamp but in a different way. So I'm going to show you some more inspiration before I crack on with my next demonstration. Here you go. So demonstration number 2 then. So here we have 2 of the roses. So you just saw me finish one off before going to that VT, and here is one that I did earlier before coming live to show. So what I'm going to show you is I'm just going to grab my scoreboard, and we're going to do a little bit of the same concept, but we're going to create a different style this time. So here we have a bigger piece of card, and this is going to be a bigger card, clearly. So let's just set that aside. So I have this piece of white card here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a closure. Okay, so I'm going to pick the parts where I think, how's it going to look on my card? So are we going to want this one a little bit higher? Are we going to want this one a little bit lower? Or shall we just do them so they're sort of like meet in the middle? I think that looks quite pretty. I just maybe would take that a little bit higher. So have a think about how you're setting it out before you do your score lines. So I can see I need to score on this rose here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it flush with the leaves in my scoreboard. I'm just going to go and pop a score line down there and down there. So you can make score and make your score line wherever you want. Can you see that there? So I'll fold that over on there, fold that one over, fold that one over. Now if you don't want to do like a hinge that pops open, trim them off. All I will say to you though is if you do trim them off, what will happen is it'll sit flat on your card. Whereas with the suspended hinge, it allows that little bit of flexibility so you can see your card's got dimension. So I always encourage to leave this, but if it's causing you a problem and you can't glue it down, cut it off. Okay, so this is so we can see where this is going. This one's going to go on here, look, and then this one just going to pop in here again in the leaves, and we'll go 1 inch on this one. So you could do them at different, you could do one at 1 inch, the other at ½ an inch, so you've got more of the image showing. But if you, like I said earlier, if you haven't got this stamp, pick a stamp out your stash that's quite bulky or chunky, so you've got the capability to hide some of it. Like so. So let's get this stuck. Let's just move this out of the way. So same concept as before, just going to pop some glue on this edge. Not too much though. I'm just going to take my card, I'm just going to sit it on that hinge. Not too close though. I'm just going to let it grab. So that's that one. And then this one. Just going to pop this one a little bit lower. And just give it a good old close before you might just budge that one up a little bit. There we go. Just give it the opportunity. See how leaving the hinge on gives you this like door closure here? Just give that a push. So it's sticking nicely, is that one. So I'm trying my best not to get a mucky paw print on this one. You know, it's very difficult. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka, and ahead of time I have cut this square, and we're going to get our sentiment in the centre of it. I'm going to use the same sentiment because I think it is a beautiful sentiment. So I'm just going to pop this smack in the centre here, straight as I possibly can. And there's my ink. I always do it twice. I think it's a personal habit. It's not necessarily needed that I need to do it twice, but I just like to do it twice. And it's super black. So I'll just move that. So let's get this card put together. So let's see if it's stuck. It's doing a mighty fine job there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the glue again. and I'm just going to do it all over the back. Do use a bit of tape at home though, and you know they're not going to fall out, drop out. And I have some mirror here. I'm just matting it onto this mirror card. So you could do a twine bow around here, tie it in a lovely bow if you wanted to. It's just unfortunate I don't have any, or if I do, it's packed away, ready for the move. So you can see I've got this like lovely, it's beautiful. And then we pop it on top of onto our card. Now you could pad this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to stick it flat. So this is an 8x8 card, and the other one was a 5.5 by 5.5 card. So you can see the difference in size. So if you are a big card maker, then you know by doubling up with the stamps, you can create something amazing. So with this one, I was gonna, let's just give our flowers a little bit of flexibility here. Just open them out. Make sure you don't get any seepage of glue. And then with this lovely sentiment here, you could stamp direct onto the backing piece if you don't like all the layers. And like I say, you could put a closure on there if you wanted to. So we have like a demi. So when it's sat on the half, the doors are semi-open and you can see the sentiment inside. Or you could wrap some ribbon or twine around there so whoever's receiving it can open it themselves and read the lovely sentiment inside. So there we go, look at the dimension on that. It's a beautiful card. Now, coloured in monochromatics, it would make a beautiful gents card also. So that's that one, and then this is the one I've just done earlier with just the one hinge on here on a much, much smaller card. So I would say, which do you like the best, or do you not like any, or do you love them both? You'll have to let me know. Just move those over so you can see them there. So thank you for watching today's show. I hope I've inspired you in some way, maybe picking out not your flower stamps and maybe creating something like this with a different stamp maybe, but the inspiration is there for you and I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to see all your makes. I am back with you next Monday at 4 o'clock with some more fabulous inspiration. So don't disappear though. I've got a little bit of a little video now for you before you go offline, but whatever you're doing, have a great evening, stay safe, stay cozy, and I'll catch you all Monday. Take care, bye.